I debated for a while which character would be the first for a new story quest, but with the announcement of new skins and the fact that Charlotte never received a hangout, it was an easy decision. If you're unfamiliar with who I am, my name is Chelsea, and I write characters. This is my first video in a series where I'll be writing a story quest for every Genshin character. Doesn't matter if they had one already or if it was just a hangout, doesn't matter if it was good or bad, every single character. The hardest part, once I had decided on Charlotte, was determining what her story quest should be without changing who she is fundamentally. Because like it or not, Charlotte is another member in the nosy reporter trope, though she's surprisingly not on the list. Yet. Her background describes her as being a devoted journalist for the Steambird, who frequently finds the best scoop for her readers. This sometimes results in her running into danger, where she is then sent off on faraway field reporting jobs by the newspaper's editor-in-chief until the Maison Gardiennage has finally managed to clear things up. So, a challenge was presented to me. How do you deepen a character with a one-note personality? At first, I thought the answer was to explore who Charlotte is outside of being a reporter, but I didn't feel comfortable doing this as I felt I would be inventing new things about her. So what angle could I explore for her as a reporter? Well, after reading about her background and all her character stories, I realized my answer lied in her relationship with her dad, because it's really sweet. Her father is a seasoned reporter and professional nature photographer. He knows her talent for observation at a young age, and gifted her a custom-made camera, its dimensions and the positions of its buttons built specifically for her, because she was only 10. This father-daughter tag team could be found on streets, forests, and rivers alike, raising 2 cameras taking countless images of beauty. With her consent, he sent the photos they'd taken to the Steambird. The editors were quickly smitten with their photos, especially Charlotte's. Their pictures caused quite the stir when they were published, and after Charlotte's exceptional photography skills had made her famous, she began receiving frequent visits from manuscript writers, magazine editors, her father's reporter colleagues, and even the editor-in-chief of the Steambird herself. She hoped that Charlotte would agree to become a special correspondent, someone who would conduct interviews and write articles in addition to taking photographs. Her father was strongly against it. He did not wish for his daughter to associate with those kinds of people, concerned about their ulterior motives and hypocrisy. He respected Charlotte's decision, but preferred that she live a simpler life, rather than diving into the chaos of society. Her parents responded with silence, knowing that their daughter had already made her choice. The next morning, waiting at the Steambird for the editor-in-chief was Charlotte, ready with her camera and notepad. Welcome to the Steambird, Charlotte. The story goes on describing her success and ending with how she got her vision. And while all of that is great, I wanted to focus specifically on how her respect for her father and the pressure of success have impacted her. I wanted to ask the question, what happens when Charlotte fails to get the big scoop? Without further ado, I present to you Charlotte's story quest. Charlotte jogs through Fontaine on her way to work. It's early in the morning. The shops haven't opened, yet the streets are full of people. It's almost like the city never sleeps, and Charlotte prefers it that way. Makes it easier to catch people for interviews. The sky, once a deep shade of blue, slowly shifts to a soft gold that lights up the city. She arrives to the Steambird, where the editor-in-chief waits for her. Good morning, Charlotte.
Morning, boss. What do you have for me today?
She smiles. We've received news of a disappearance from the opera Epiclese. An actress has disappeared during rehearsal. There is no one more that I trust to handle this case than you. There is a sparkle in Charlotte's eyes. The captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, Chevreuse, is waiting for you. Charlotte is absolutely giddy by this assignment as she salutes her boss.
I won't let you down, boss.
Wait a second, Charlotte, she said, holding out her hand. She's not exactly your biggest fan. Listen to her. Do things her way this time, okay? Charlotte doesn't like her request, but she needs this job.
Okay, I'll be patient.
That's all I'm asking. Once she's out of her boss's line of sight, she wastes no time, sprinting her way through the city streets, catching the next aqua bus to the opera Epiclese. She fidgets, first with her pen, then her notebook, lastly with her camera. The aqua bus docks with a sharp turn. Charlotte pays no attention, her heart racing as she runs along the path, dodging people who are trying to enjoy the beautiful day. She can't remember the last time she had something potentially this big. After the resolution of the prophecy of Fontaine, things had seemed much quieter. It had been mostly petty crimes, and she felt guilty having to spice up her last few articles. She didn't lie, of course, just used some more creative descriptions. Maybe a few embellishments here or there. She runs up to the opera Epiclese, coming to a stop at the door to catch her breath. She enters calmly, scanning the room for Chevreuse. But Chevreuse finds her first, the two walking together as they discuss the case. I'm glad you're here. There are no signs of a struggle, so we're having trouble finding evidence. She's frustrated, though it's difficult to tell if it's the case or Charlotte bothering her. The culprit couldn't have gone far. We suspect they're waiting in the city for nightfall before making their escape with the victim. I need you to investigate without raising alarm.
Don't worry, you got the best of the best on the case.
Chevreuse looks at her for a moment. I know. She can already feel a headache coming. We're going to continue looking for clues. I'll be here when you've got a lead on the culprit's identity.
I won't let you down.
All we have so far is scraps of fabric from what we presume to be the victim's dress. She looks at Charlotte, already deep in thought. Do you know where you might start?
I'm no fashion expert, but Chioria may know something. I'll drop by her boutique first and see what she knows.
You could get lucky. Maybe she designed the dress.
If that's the case, she will be furious that someone has ripped one of her works. I'll come back as soon as I have something.
Don't bring attention to yourself. We don't want the culprit to figure out we're looking for them. Charlotte returns to the city, running full speed out of the station. It's still early in the day, but she knows how in demand Chioria's designs are. She didn't cater to just the wealthy. A lot of her customers were tourists from overseas. Some of the regulars easily described as rough and tough. It didn't matter to Chioria, though. If they had a bad attitude, they were thrown out. Charlotte is nervous, hoping she will have just a minute or two to spare. To Charlotte's surprise, she was outside, sitting at a table.
Good morning, Chioria,
Charlotte said before sitting with her. Chioria leaned against the table, her chin resting against her hand. When she heard her name called, she sat up, her break seemingly over. It had been a busier morning than usual, and she was trying to enjoy a moment of respite between customers. A moment Charlotte was now disturbing. What is it? Always straight to the point with her.
I found some fabric at the opera house and wanted to know if you knew anything about it. Where it came from, or who might have worn it.
Chioria looked at the fabric in Charlotte's hand. That's mine, she said, taking the fabric from Charlotte as she tried to remember which dress it had come from. I remember receiving a request from the Fated Theater Company, but this fabric is also similar to a dress I made for Navia.
I need you to be sure. Which is it?
Chioria looks intensely at Charlotte. Go on, say it. You suspect me to be involved.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just need to know for sure where the fabric came from.
Between commissions, fittings, and the tourist I threw out this morning, I don't have time to get involved. So I suggest you go see Navia. She is one of my regulars, and she better hope it didn't come from one of her dresses. Chioria handed the fabric back to her. What are you waiting for? Charlotte was disappointed, but knew she wouldn't learn anything more here.
Thanks for your time, Chioria.
Chioria waves. Charlotte enters the sewers, flinching slightly at the pungent smell. Despite some people calling it home and having made it generally livable, it was still a sewer, and it still smelled like a sewer. She kept her head down, the only sound being her shoes landing against metal platforms. She looked around for Navia, who sat nearby at the bar. She was smiling, deep in conversation with the bartender.
I love that opera. I haven't seen it since I was a child. Which opera?
Charlotte asked, genuinely curious.
Charlotte.
Navia turns and looks at her.
Come, sit with me. We were just talking about old memories.
Charlotte sits with her.
Have you been to the opera recently?
Navia frowns.
I've tried to go a few times, but I have trouble staying. It's been hard with Silver and Maylou's gone.
She forces a smile.
But I know I'll enjoy it again one day. I'm sure of it.
Charlotte hands her the fabric.
How long ago?
Navia takes the fabric, surprised.
This looks like it came from one of my dresses Chioria made.
She waves over one of her men, handing it to them.
I need you to go check and see if any of my dresses are damaged.
Right away, ma'am.
I'll give the fabric back. I just want to check. Of course, but be fast. I'm short on time. So, I guess you didn't come for a photo then?
Charlotte shakes her head.
Not this time, Navia. Something has happened, and I can't say much. I shouldn't say anything. But, I respect you, Navia. But...
Navia didn't like where the conversation was going.
And you're a woman with a good heart. You've done a lot of good for this city. But... You're also a woman with a lot of resources, a lot of connections. Stop right there,
Navia said. A few people nearby turned their heads, looking at her.
I'm not saying you did anything, but you and I both know you could have. Maybe they convinced you it was for the right reasons, or... What is it that you and I both know I could do then? What is it you're suspecting me of? You tell me. You've got a good soul, Navia. Saved a lot of people. Help me save someone. I can't, because I don't know what's going on.
People stand up. Some take a step towards her. Navia holds her hand up, keeping her people back.
But I think you should go for now. Come back when you have clearer details. We can talk then. Of course. Thank you. And for what it's worth, Navia, I hope you get the chance to enjoy the opera again.
Charlotte decides to question Lenny next. He's performed at the opera on many occasions with his sister Lynette. Even their brother Fremine had been introduced to their shows, putting his skills as a diver on display. She pauses as she approaches the cafe.
Is that Clorinde?
Sitting at a table alone, coffee in hand with Clorinde. She notices Charlotte approach. You know I don't do interviews.
I know, I do, but can I ask you a few questions?
Is that not an interview? What if I don't sit down? I failed to see how that will make a difference when you're already sitting, but if it will get you to leave, then ask your questions.
Thank you. Has Farina performed at the opera recently? Have you seen her?
Perhaps you should ask Farina.
But you're right here, her most trusted bodyguard.
Former bodyguard. Once she began to live a normal life, as normal a life as she could, I no longer served as her bodyguard.
But would you?
Maybe, if she asked.
And has she?
Clorinde sets her coffee down. This is beginning to feel like an interview, Charlotte.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to bother you. I just don't have a lot of time.
Then you should probably look for her quickly. Charlotte sighs. Another dead end. But Clorinde was right. She hadn't served Farina as her bodyguard in a few years. While they were still in good terms, Farina had moved on, and the rest of the world with her. This is where you, the player, get to try Charlotte. Every character's story quest should give you the opportunity to demo them, and for 4 stars, it should be no different. In the style of existing trial characters, she would be C6 and built well. Night came too quickly, and Charlotte found herself sprinting towards the House of Hearth. It had been a long day, but Lenny and Lynette had never given her an interview. She had tried at least 20 times to ask them, and every time she had failed. This time, though, she wasn't going to take no for an answer. But just as she got close, the strangest thing happened.
Exiting power save mode.
Lynette stood there. Oh. Never mind. As Charlotte was distracted, Lenny slipped down the stairs past her.
Ugh.
With camera in hand, Charlotte does her best to snap a picture of the twins. But they are clever, jumping and dodging her photos as they run away. There would be an objective where, using Charlotte's skill and burst, you have to attempt to get pictures of either Lenny or Lynette around Fontaine. But they are nimble, quick on their feet, and manage to keep their distance. After each photo, they continue to run away. The chase ends at the House of Hearth, all 3 of them out of breath.
We're not giving you an interview. I don't need one. I just need to know if you've been at the opera.
Someone is missing. No. Our next performance got delayed. It's not for 2 weeks.
So you guys are a dead end too.
Charlotte doesn't wait to hear their responses, dragging herself away. She's exhausted and hungry. Before she could even start considering who the culprit was, she needed to eat something. Her head was dizzy, and she thought she might be hearing things.
Has the steadfast reporter given up so easily?
To Charlotte's surprise, Farina sits at the same cafe Clorinde had been at earlier. She has 2 desserts in front of her with an empty plate beside them.
Farina?
What are you doing here at this hour?
I suppose you'd like that interview.
That depends. Are you willing to answer my questions this time?
Even better. I have a story to tell you.
Farina offers her one of her desserts and orders Charlotte a coffee. Charlotte, holding her fork in her mouth, is confused.
Let me tell you a story about a missing actress and the talented reporter on the case.
As Charlotte listens to her story, it begins to sound a lot like how her day has went.
But in the end, the missing actress was never missing at all.
Farina, are you the missing actress I've been looking for?
The one and only Farina de Fontaine.
Charlotte is far too tired to entertain her. Why? Why have you sent me on a wild goose chase all over the city?
For research, of course. I'm thinking about trying my hand at directing. What do you think?
Farina says, excitedly holding a camera. Charlotte stands up. Don't quit your day job. You were born to be a star. Thank you for the dessert.
Of course, of course.
Charlotte snaps a quick photo. Charlotte makes haste for the Steambird. It took less time to get there than to go all the way to the opera house, especially this late in the day. Her editor-in-chief was waiting for her, though surprised to see her on the same day she assigned her a story. Charlotte, shouldn't you be...
It was a ruse. There is no missing actress. It was Farina all along. She says she did it for research because she wants to try directing.
The editor-in-chief waited for her to elaborate, but when she said nothing, she laughed. I suppose that's a relief then. I mean, while a kidnapping would be a good story, it's a good thing no one's in danger. I failed you. Failed me how, exactly? There's still a big story here, and you've got photos.
Some. I'm not sure how usable they are.
I'm sure we have some photos we haven't run yet, but go write it up. People will love the story of your chase, and the reveal that our city's favorite actress wants to make a movie.
But Chevreuse and the...
She didn't know how to feel. I'll speak with Chevreuse. Charlotte, not every story has to be of crime and disaster. Sometimes they can be joyful too. Would you rather someone have been kidnapped? Their life in perilous danger?
Well, no, not really.
Then it seems you have a story to write. Charlotte smiled, saluting her boss.
I'll have it on your desk in the morning.
Mysteries are admittedly one of my weaker subjects, but I couldn't resist giving Charlotte a whodunit style quest. I had in mind the quest from Elder Scrolls Oblivion, also titled Whodunit. Ideally, it would use the thought bubbles above the head system we used during the early acts of Fontaine. You would narrow down suspects, but regardless arrive at the same ending where it was all a plan by Farina. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my idea for a story quest for Charlotte. This is just the start, as I fully intend to write a story quest for every Genshin character. Subscribe if you'd like to see whose story quest comes next, and let me know in the comments who you think deserves a new story quest. Until then, my name is Chelsea, and I write characters. Thanks for watching.